It's the Electric Ireland Trench Cup final. It's really the start of this amazing 5-day or 6-day week here with the two Fitzgibbon and Sigerson and everything else all being held here at SETU Waterford at their superb facilities here in Carriganore. They're improving them all the time and the pitch here is terrific. The team out there in the black is TUS Midlands from Athlone in the black and gold, and they're up against Dundalk IT. We'll go through the teams for you because there's been a few changes. So that team there in the black and gold, Brendan Killeen, number 17, is in, replacing Ronan Wallace, who's number 3. And Oisin Flynn is out with injury. And in there is a very interesting player, Breen Cooney, wearing number 18 for TUS Midlands. And the reason he's interesting is because Athlone, which is TUS Midlands, have only ever won this competition once, in 1992. And the captain, John Jack Cooney, his dad. So there's continuity for you on the black team immediately there. And the other story I have to give you about the trench, well, I'll come to it in a minute. There's a Belfast connection, but I'll bring in Kieran Flynn first. Kieran, nice conditions here, pretty much perfect for a game. Lights coming on here. Nice line there about Mr. Cooney and his son.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure to be on for this Electric Ireland Trench Cup final. It's such a scenic venue. There's maybe a bit of the history there as well. The last time I joined you on the stream, it was a college that hadn't won and there was history, and maybe that'll bode well for TUS Midlands. They definitely, in Carlson Kinnegad, they'll definitely be wishing for that. But it doesn't get much better. The scene is set for hurling and football this weekend, and it just when you're just the anticipation just before the start is just amazing. Just mad to get the game on.
Exactly, and the team there in white with yellow band there is Dundalk IT. Now, their numbers are going to be a little bit hard for you to follow, but we think we've got it. So I'm going to give you their team in full now. In goals, Shane Garland from Donamoyne in County Monaghan. And yes, he is the brother of Amy and Lauren, the stars in the Monaghan and Donamoyne teams. Right corner back there of Shane Hanratty, also Monaghan from Inniskeen. He's wearing number 7. Full back is Owen Clark from Ballyhaise in Cavan, wearing number 3. Left corner back for Dundalk IT is Jerry Brown from Louth. Roach Emmets will wear number 9. Half back line for Dundalk IT, Shane Slevin from Latin in Monaghan will wear 35. Lee Rice will wear 4. He's from Killeavy in Armagh. 6 at left half back is Liam Stafford from St Columkills in Meath. Midfield for Dundalk IT, Jack McAvoy wearing 8. He's from Offaly. And 15, another Armagh man, Kieran Doyle from Greenmore. In the half forwards for Dundalk, number 5, Cal Fleming, Maddock Rangers and Louth wearing 5. Tom Gray at centre half forward from Louth wearing 23. I told you it'd be hard to follow. Codal McCall, left half forward, also a Louth man, wearing 22. You see the numbers there now. You see what I'm talking about, 35s and 20s. Corner forward, number 26, Jay Hughes from Louth. Full forward is the captain for Dundalk IT. He is wearing number 20. He's in that shot there. He's from Trua Gales in Monaghan. And number 24 is corner forward, left corner from Cooley Kickham's. It's Patrick Johnston. So we'll do our best to follow all those numbers. And out there in the middle, the man there with the hat, Eamon McEnany. Now, Kieran, you're too young, but Eamon McEnany is a legend in Monaghan football. Won 3 Ulsters back in the 80s and famously put over a 45 that nearly beat, or did beat Kerry, wasn't a National League final. I think they won the National League final in 1985. Anyway, legendary guy, and he is out there. Think of Billy Morgan and then transferred to the trench. That's basically what we're talking about there. So that's a connection. And also, there's a nice connection. Owen Woods, one of the selectors, he was the winning captain in the trench in 2013 with IT Blanche. So that's their team, and the numbers will be a bit tricky to follow, but I hope you're following it on YouTube. We're on the Higher Education YouTube, so the whole game coming up there. The winner of this, of course, goes through to the Sigerson next year. Both of these teams played yesterday, so recovery will be a bit of an issue as well. You saw the 2 games yesterday.
Yes, so no pressure to get forensic information on all the players, but it was an interesting, the conditions were playing way more havoc yesterday. We were on the back pitch for the Dundalk game, and it was such a game of 2 halves. Similar for the TUS's, the Midwest and Midlands played. It was very condensed football. Everyone was trying to avoid kicking it into the wind, and there was some great expansive football with the wind. So the conditions much calmer today, but at the same time, the players, I think, will be cagey in the first few moments, and I think it might just open up, hopefully, a lot of good players in both teams.
Well, TUS Midlands in the black were 2-6 to 4 points down after 12 minutes. and came back and won the game, whereas Dundalk IT had a much smoother game. Seamus Mulvihill is the referee, and I see he's wearing black, which is obviously very similar to the TUS Midlands jersey, so we'll try not to name him as one of the players, but he's about to throw the ball, and he's from Kerry. On the line we have Aaron Clogher and Owen Morrissey, who is from Waterford. So here it is, the Electric Ireland Trench Cup final in the black, TUS Midlands Athlone, and it is Dundalk IT in the white and yellow, and the ball won immediately for TUS, and 3 men around him, but he still got the ball away, and the man on the ball now is number 7, Shane O'Toole Green, an awfully man who puts it down into the corner. I will give you the full TUS Midlands team as we go, but number 14 now I can give you Cormac Delaney, one of the vice captains from Clara and Offaly. He leaves it off, and they are doing exactly what Kieran Flynn said. They're sussing each other out and just moving the ball around and going from side to side, and the Dundalk IT team are just drifting across, and they have set inside the 45 there, and they've let TUS Midlands have the ball out here as much as they like. Brandon Kelly on it now. He's from Milltown Pass in Westmeath, got one of their 2 goals yesterday. Gives it back to number 7, that's Conor Lohan from Roscommon, and now they're going back to number 4, Shane Allen from Athlone. I've nearly give you them all now. He's the captain actually of TUS Midlands. Is this exactly what you predicted, Kieran? It is.
Yeah, and it's going to be something similar. It was just an interesting one from yesterday. Was the Dundalk goalkeeper actually came up and joined the attack. I had to do umpiring this game yesterday, and the goalkeeper Ian from Beaufort and Kerry was saying he wasn't going to be venturing too far forward. Now, he normally plays wing forward for his club at home, but he said he wasn't going to be using his wily Kerry blood to get up the field too much.
Don't want wild Kerry blood around the place, do we? Are you talking about Ian McGillicuddy, yeah?
Yes.
Goalkeeper,
yeah.
Of course, yeah. He's the only Kerry man out there. He's the goalkeeper for TUS Midlands. And there's a dangerous one now, but no, it's not actually. The goalkeeper's going to get that one quite easily, and that is the Kerry man. So no fireworks in the first couple of minutes. Number 18, this is Breen Cooney. And that's a good kick pass. We haven't seen many of them in the first few minutes. Of course, the players tend to go hand pass these days and move it through the hands just to make sure they keep possession. Number 7 is Lohan again from Roscommon. There's a nice ball. They try and find a gap through the middle, and that's a nice transfer, and it's Brandon Kelly. Looks like he fancies it. Then changes. No, he hasn't changed his mind, and actually that's a beauty if he's got it. He hasn't. It's come off the crossbar. It's come off the crossbar, and it was well watched by Shane Garland in there, but it was a nervy one. But the ball in the middle, pretty much hitting the black spot. May have caught the gloves as well, but nice effort, but just didn't quite have the range. I wonder, did they play on this pitch yesterday? You were saying they played in the 2 semi-finals.
The TUS were here,
so he
Dundalk were up the top.
So he should have maybe got his range, but not quite. Very, very close. This is Dundalk IT in the white and yellow, looking for the first score in the game. There's a shot from way out on the right hand side. That's a really tricky one for the goalkeeper. Big man goes in, and the goalkeeper did enough just to get rid of it, and it spilled out for a 45. Nervy moments at both ends there, Kieran.
Definitely, I said the shadow boxing we predicted is probably just coming to the fore, and teams like there, probably a poor effort by Kieran Doyle to probably outside the scoring zone in the corner, possibly could have recycled it, but then
but he had the big man in there. You know, we nearly got to a 2 when you have a big man in there. You
have to maybe roll the dice sometimes, because we criticise as onlookers maybe the lack of ingenuity and maybe the kind of mundane stuff that goes around in circles. At least he went for it, but the goalie, in fairness to Ian, he I said he was predicting good stuff yesterday. In fairness to him, he came out well, he was brave, and he cleared the ball.
He did indeed. Big 22 in there is Conal McCall, just to re-emphasise it. Number 20 as the captain, Gary Mohan for Dundalk IT. So they were causing trouble in there. Now obviously he's going to hit this left-footed from the 45. Eamon McEnany's done a few peaches from this sort of ball in the distance. That one is breaking short, and it's a chance for the number 5, and that's Cal Fleming. That's high enough certainly, but is it accurate enough? No, definitely not. And it's going to be the Kerry man who is going to get the kick this one out. Now let's look at the tactics here, Kieran. Is he going to go short? What way are they setting up? Are they splitting it? Is there a press on?
Well, Dundalk brought a heavy press on the Mary I Limerick team yesterday, but again the weather was heavier, but definitely from the kickouts they had a pretty predictable left and right strategy from the kickouts, as we're seeing there, put it out there. So we'll see if that persists. Well, the break was won by Dundalk IT, and this is the big number 22, Conal McCall. He fancies it, and they've given him a bit of room there, and that should be over the bar, you know. No, it's not. It's gone to the left. They backed off him there. Yeah, just maybe inviting the pressure, which is in, and here's your wardrobe change now. Yeah, they're giving the referee a nice gold jersey. Maybe they heard me, but yeah, I noticed that before. They got nice new gear for
today, and the referee is switching to a nice little gold number. So Seamus Mulvihill from Kerry has a change of jersey, just in case you thought he was favouring TUS Midlands, and there he is.
Put a jersey on is the phrase that comes from the crowd often, doesn't it? So
yeah. He had one on from the start, but he's gone neutral now. Now for TUS Midlands, 17 is Brendan Killeen. Now he came in for the fullback, but he's not playing fullback. He's out the field a little bit. Not that I can really follow positions these days too much anyway, to be honest. Shane Allen, the captain now. Athlone man. This is Cormac Delaney wearing 14. Gives it back to his captain. 13 is Aaron Hughes from Gary Moore in Mayo. 11 is Carl Flynn from Furban in Offaly. Lots of players obviously from the Midlands for TUS Midlands. 5.5 minutes gone, no score. Now down in that right hand corner, it's Matthew Whitaker. And now they're through. They have a chance of scoring, but he's put it to the right and wide there, Delaney, and it remains scoreless. Promised you to give you the teams, and it didn't quite, but the keeper's got this, and he's going to put it out quickly, so I don't think he'll have time just now. But the goalkeeper, I can tell you, for Dundalk is Shane Garland. Goes short, and that's well picked up there by the number 15 all the way back.
But he's off now, look at him.
Oh, off he goes. You were right. Yeah. So watch the yellow jersey. Now he's going to clash with the referee if he comes out the field with a gold jersey. They might have to get a red number or something. Oh, he's been caught out of goals. Chance here for TUS Midlands, but I don't think they're going to capitalise. They're building this, and that's a lovely bit of play there. Actually, on his left foot, he might catch him, and the keeper had to be on his toes there, and he got up and tipped that over. First score of the game, but I saw that dropping into the net, but the keeper kept it out. Good save by Garland.
Absolutely. I think it nearly should be a rule in the GA that the goalie should be made come out, because it's excitement. it just brings excitement to the game. They should be made every time run to the other line, get up the field.
Yeah, I could look with proposing that one to Congress there. But I like the idea, yeah. Bit of excitement. Number 20 for Dundalk IT is their captain, Gary Mohan from Trua Gales, near the border there beside Emmyville and Monaghan. He's blowing for overcarrying, and there's a little bit of noise from both sides there, because one side I think was claiming there was a foul on him, but overcarrying. And TUS Midlands get a chance to break. They're a point to the good, and that's played inside nicely by Conor Lohan, and the referee is going to bring that back because it was a late challenge there, and Seamus not happy with that challenge at all, and he's acting decisively, I think you could say. Kieran, you obviously are more up in the refereeing than me.
Yeah, well, again, like for the contact after the play, like this is always asked, this black card question. Like if he gave the free, he probably should give the corresponding penalty. And it's not to say the black cards are called for, but when they block a player off like that, it possibly was a black card, and it's one that later on in the game they're all called for. Early on, though, you might get away with more.
But Kieran, I know this isn't in the rule book, but would you really want to be handing out black cards for sort of marginal?
No, and I wouldn't have myself
early in the final, you know.
No, and I wouldn't have myself. But it's just again the inconsistency of rules.
So that's good common sense by the referee, though, is it not?
I agree. I think the problem is the common sense is not legislated for, and that's what kills the GA, because if that's in the last minute, there's blood.
Absolutely. Now, Dundalk IT haven't got a score yet, but they have a chance to break now, because TUS have been caught up the field. And it is the number 5 again, Carl Fleming.
Just missed Kieran Doyle. He made a beeline to the goal. He had a good 15 yards of his man, but they just didn't see him.
This is Jack McAvoy, though, and he's got a nice pass laid off here. And it's gone to Lee Rice. He's an Armagh man, and it's gone back to Fleming, but he's put it wide to the right, and you can sense a bit of frustration from him there. They just can't get through here. Yeah,
because again, they had a very, very good opening 15 minutes yesterday, and they blitzed, and they're kind of trying that again. It's just not working for them now, and they possibly would want to have more scores on the board at this stage for the possession they've had and the chances.
But it's the way of the modern game, isn't it? 9 minutes gone, 1 point.
Yeah, and some people watching might say it's lacklustre, but when you see all the moving parts on the pitch, you see the tactical kind of prowess of players, that there's so much going on. When you just watch it maybe on a macro level, it's probably more entertaining.
TUS Midlands in the black, playing from left to right, and the referee again coming in and laying down the law.
I love the chant from the crowd every time. It was every time there'd be no football at all. So
oh, he's got a yellow. He has shown yellow there. I did say he was acting decisively. Yeah, if you listen to the chants from the crowd, people just get so unreasonable sometimes, don't they? And any time there's a black card, every challenge after that on the other side, it's a black.
Yeah, it's just the evening up
It's the passion. Not always logical, but certainly the passion. TUS Midlands trying to work it in. And that's, look at the amount of white jerseys back there. They just have to recycle it. Isn't that the word they use? Another chance for a point. And looks like he may have got it. No, it's gone to the right. It's gone wide. And although it's an interesting game, as you're saying, there's been a lot of wides.
Yeah, and that's reasonably close. That's in the scoring zone, even with the weather conditions. It's a big kick. The goalie is a very good distributor.
And that's broken down, but only for the opposition, because TUS Midlands have it again. There's a trip, but the referee gives good advantage. Good refereeing again by Seamus Mulvihill. And TUS Midlands looking to capitalise. They don't want to free, they want to go for it. They want to try and get another point, and is that their second point? It is. And I think that was a number 10. Was it Matthew Whitaker? I think got the point from Tuberclare and Westmeath. He got a goal yesterday. He's got a point today.
So it was very good advantage. There was definitely capitalising on space up the field. Let the players play the game as much as you can.
Quick kick out, and that's all you want from your keeper, to keep possession, and they have kept possession. And number 15 for Dundalk IT is Kieran Doyle.
Great ball in.
It is a good ball in, and it's well taken there as well. Eventually, I know he's going for a really ambitious effort from the left, and well, it was ambitious, but you know, he should have maybe steadied himself a little bit there.
Possibly the ball. Liam Stafford, member of the Meath under-20 panel, very good footballer coming from St Columkills in East Meath, kicked the ball in, possibly a mark, just fumbled the ball. Like, if it was a mark, it was probably an easier score. So at the minute, probably just rash decisions by Dundalk. They're 2 points down, and realistically, for the amount of possession and shots they've had, they'd want to be matching the score at least, if not maybe 1 or 2 up. So they're probably disappointed so far.
I would imagine so, yes. They've put wides on either side, and that was just needed maybe a little bit of composure or to work it in. And there was room as well, and they've been given a little bit of room, and there's been a few that have been decent enough positions. And 26 there was Jay Hughes from Louth.
And a good actually rule spot there by the referee. When you claim your mark and you're basically interfered within the 4 steps after you claiming it, it's actually brought 13 metres more advantageous. It's not just a free, so it's a good spot by the ref. It's turned it into a scoreable effort.
And that is likely to go over, looking like it goes over, and it does. Dundalk IT on the board, their first score of the game after 12 minutes exactly. They haven't scored from play yet. They've had a few problems there, but at least they're on the board now. And yes, you're right. I mean, Seamus is very well known in ladies Gaelic football. He's done All-Ireland senior finals and other finals there as well, and there's different rules for both of them, but he was right on the ball there.
Absolutely, and the ill discipline probably showed by TUS, allowed the ball to be brought up 13 metres, turned into a scoreable free. That's the kind of stuff they will absolutely rue if they continue with ill discipline.
Goes high up the middle and it's punched down, and it was the captain Mohan who got a punch to it. But TUS Midlands are winning a lot of the breaks. They're winning a lot of the ball that is just coming around from either kick out. They've done that quite a bit, and that's why they've had more of the play. That's Carol Flynn. Puts it into the corner, but that one isn't going to stick. But hold on, Whitaker is there, and he's speeding along the end line, coming in, and it might even be a goal chance here, and he's fouled, and the referee has signalled. But what is he going to give? Is he giving himself a little bit of time to come in? Is it near enough, or is it going to be a free? Looks like a free.
Yeah, it's one he could ask the umpires. There's no point bringing them all the way from Kerry and not asking them what their opinion is. Potentially a second free closer to the goal inside the penalty area. That's a question maybe he'll be asking himself this evening, looking back on our stream. But definitely correct with the first decision. Definitely a free in. Well,
to be fair, he's a lot closer, and he must be very confident in it. He knows his umpires, and I'm thinking he's pretty sure it's out there. It'll be his mates from Kerry if they're there. I'm sure they all travel together, and they're a good team. So it's a free in either way to TUS Midlands, and they're having a bit of joy there on that left-hand side the last few minutes, aren't they? And is it Whitaker there is very speedy, and he's causing trouble there.
Very fortuitous, like the bounce in, the corner forward just probably did the right thing, not maybe claiming the ball and maybe losing possession. He just kind of played it a bit to his right-hand side, and it just allowed the ball to kind of bounce fortuitously across, and they're kind of things you need to have a bit of luck to. So I think at the minute TUS, they're happy with the 3-1 scoreline.
Garland puts it up into the middle, breaks again, and again it's TUS Midlands who benefit a little bit fortuitously, but they do get it. And I dread to say this, but I think it's starting to rain here in Carriganore, and we don't have any cover here, unfortunately, so hopefully it won't rain too long. But that's a nice effort, and that one has dropped over the bar. I thought it might have been like the earlier one that dropped short, but it's gone over, and there is now a 3-point gap, and it was nicely finished and nicely judged as well, and they're getting into their groove.
Absolutely, and we'll have to complain to Met Aaron. They promised the rain was coming at 6 p.m, so 45 minutes early, but sure, these things happen.
And by the way, we are on YouTube, and there is a live chat area there if anybody wants to comment and tell us what they think of things or how it's going, or give us any little bits of information, or even to correct us or to spot something we haven't spotted. Feel free to do that. Dundalk IT going for their second score, first from play, and that one looks good, and it is over the bar, and it was the big fella. I say that, one of the big fellas. Was it Conal McCall, 22 possibly? I'm waiting for him to turn round. They did mix up all the numbers before the game.
Definitely was a 2, definitely a 20 number. So
it's very hard to follow even at this stage. We've rewritten everything, but it's very tricky because you have 22s and 26s and 35s and 5 all in a different place in the pitch. So it's,
well, he's done us a favour and come over to this side of the pitch, which is very gentleman of him.
It is. It's 22, or is it 20 actually? No, I think it was 20. Yeah, it was
2-0.
20. So it was a captain, Gary Mohan, who got the second score of the game for Dundalk IT. Again, TUS Midlands doing well from the kick-out. Their kick-out stats are pretty positive for them. So 4 points to 2 for TUS Midlands. That was the number 11, Cathal Flynn, who just passed and jumped out of the way there. This is their captain now. And Shane Allen just looks up, doesn't see anything, so he recycles it, puts it back in there. So I am checking on YouTube. See the games on there on the higher education YouTube, and we do welcome your comments there. Big audience watching, you can see that, so feel free to interact.
Great tackle.
Dundalk IT, that is a good tackle, and they are looking to counter. So they're only 2 points down, to be happy enough, and really they've had a lot of the game. They've just had a lot of wides, so they just need to compose themselves, and that's well found. The 24 out here is Patrick Johnston from Cooley Kickham's, and he goes inside the D and he pops one in there. They're looking to get in towards goal, and that's nice interplay, and there's a chance, and he lashes it, but he lashes it over the bar, and I think it was Johnson who got it back. He started that and finished it. He's got his point, but there might have been there was a goal on there.
Absolutely, he'll probably want to go low and hard in future, but sometimes the adrenaline when he's run probably the guts of 30 metres there, he's probably fatigued by the time he kicked the ball, and you see that often, that the ball usually goes up rather than down, and you hope these things don't come back to haunt you later in matches, but so far it's getting tighter again here.
But for them, they've got through. They weren't able to get through earlier on, and they were shooting from distance, but they worked that through, and it was nice, quick transfer in the hands, and they came pretty close. The goalkeeper is Ian McGillicuddy from Beaufort in Kerry, the only Kerry man out there, or indeed in either panel. Spills this time in. Dundalk IT for once get on the break, they're quickest to get to it, and they give it to Liam Stafford, the number 6, and the effort from distance, but it's gone to the right of Fear, quite close, but just gone to the right, but their tails are up.
Yeah, some of the shots you say a bit cavalier, maybe throwing caution to the wind, and you said it's entertaining, but your analytical probably processes will say that it's a poor decision, low percentage shot. You want to recycle it, but
well, did you hear Eamon McEnany there? He says, "Work it in, work it in. You had room." So they are shooting from distance, but if you're not under pressure, try and go in a little bit closer. All the kickouts seem to be going high around the middle, and that's beautifully taken. That's the first clean catch we've seen around the middle of the field, and it is the number 18, Breen Cooney. The Midlands off and running again. I've got men over here, and the man over is number 8, Enda Maguire from Ramor United in Cavan. He left his man for dead there, and off he goes in a lovely little shimmy there from Whitaker. Have they managed to get a little bit of room? That's a tricky angle, but has he got the angle? No, he hasn't. He's kept it in play, actually, the goalkeeper, so it hasn't even gone out. And here comes the goalkeeper who likes to roam.
Maybe he was told off yesterday because he's thinking about it, and he's just started.
He doesn't want to clash jerseys, he saw the ref. No, he got the back. No, he's not finished yet. No, look, see that. They took the ball off him. You get back in your goals. No, he's away over to the left corner position now, off camera, I can tell you, but he's not giving up. He's not giving up. Oh, but hold on. You might need to get back now, keeper. They got it back again. He's okay. It's a dicey sort of game to play, as we've seen once or twice in Croke Park last year, for example. It can look a little bit silly. Dundalk IT now with their number 23. That's Tom Gray, who goes for the diagonal ball into the right corner, and he has a man there, but black jerseys all around him, and eventually doesn't keep possession. Number 7 is Conor Lohan for the Midlands in black. A little drop of the shoulder there, but a heavy hit, and the referee says it was an illegal hit, so that
it's very much a feature of the modern Gaelic football match where the forwards deliberately foul. It's something, and it's been discussed at referee seminars, club, intercounty.
Explain to me that again. The forwards deliberately what?
Like, they're just trying to slow progress, so they deliberately impede the defender coming out with just foul play essentially. And like by letter of law, you're supposed to, for example, to pull a jersey of an opponent to tick. And you do that 3 times, you should be sent off.
But is it not the nature of the foul? I know what you're saying, that they're doing it pretty cynically to say, well, foul them in this area of the pitch and we'll do it in a certain way that it's not going to get me a card.
Well, the rule would say to hold the opponent. That's a tick. You do that a second time, you'll get a yellow card, and by letter of law, the third time you're gone. Not even a fourth. You don't get a fourth one.
But maybe he has ticked them, has he?
Possibly, but you just see it's a thing. And even myself, I know, playing and being referee, you probably just don't total it up enough, and it's just a facet maybe of negative play that we don't like to see.
You sound frustrated by that, but it is a frustrating thing. I hear what you're saying.
But as a goalkeeper, it's great though, because it slows down the process.
Yeah, but when you're watching the game, I mean, it's stopping good attacking, enterprising play and slowing it down and giving the defenders a chance to get back and reset, isn't it? Which sort of kills it.
Because now if we look at the actual formation now, there's 12 Dundalk players now behind the ball.
And all they need is a few seconds to filter back, so it gets them that precious few seconds, even if they take the free quickly. And are you saying that referees, sometimes they look at it and they don't see it as a big thing they need to take care of?
In fairness to shame, he's after issuing another yellow card there, so that's important. Like, he is disciplined, so maybe that'll come back. There'll be second yellows given out, so maybe we let the game develop and we'll see that there'll be 5 or 6 Dundalk players on yellow cards.
Now this free is outside the 45. He's lining it up. It's ambitious from there. He fancies it though. No, he doesn't. Or is he going to set up the ball again?
He kicked some great ones yesterday in the semi-final.
Or he's going to take it out of his hands. He's changed his mind. In fact, the referee has brought it forward. So, you know, the referee
number
is trying
23 wouldn't get out of the way. He must be 13 metres away.
Well, I've seen Seamus do that in the Ladies Football National League game just a couple of weeks ago. Waterford were playing Cork. Last 30 seconds of the game, Cork are a point down and they had a free. And somebody just marginally came across and he moved it in. They got an equaliser from it. So he is good on that.
But then he let the free taker put a divot in the ground, which you're not supposed to do. There's always something to
you
work
ever
on.
Happy, Kieran? Come
on.
No,
very
good referee
watching,
then.
Always watching.
Number 9 is Kieran Culclough. Is that how you pronounce it? And he's measured that beautifully, and he might even have got that if it had been further out, because he got good distance on that. He's from Athlone, formerly with Marist College, by the way. But a good strike and plenty of extra on it.
Oh.
Now he needs to watch that one back there. He's surrounded, but he gets his free. I think that was 15 back there, wasn't it? That's Kieran Doyle. Now they do like to hit them as quickly as he can on the counter. I like the way Dundalk IT try to do that. They hadn't had too much joy. But as their manager says, they're shooting from distance. They need to just work it in. Is he going to do it again? He looked like he was going to do it on his right. Goes for his left, but that's definitely dropping short, and he might still get possession, and the referee has brought it back for a free out the field. When I heard the whistle, I thought it might have been a free closer to goal or even something more, but no, it's a free out the field. But an interesting bit of play there, as you see it again, on his right foot, then on his left foot. That's the advantage of a 2-footed player, but it's a free, and it's from a distance, I think, where they scored a free a few minutes ago. So
absolutely, it's just interesting watching Jerry Brown here running up the left-hand side. They just didn't see him. That's twice he's done that now. I know it's hard, maybe weather conditions, to spread the play that wide, but he's making a great wide run, and maybe could be dissect the play there and get a goal maybe later in the game.
That was certainly high. Is it accurate? Looks to the left to me. No, it's inside the posts, and it's a point in their back to a 1-point game. I'm just checking some of the messages on YouTube, and Frankie Fitzgerald makes a good point. A slow enough start, no fault of the players, because the semis were on yesterday, and that's a fair point. I mean, these guys have a day to recover, well, less than a day to recover, really, or just about it, 24 hours.
Some of them were in the ocean yesterday, I believe. They were working on that.
Does that help?
I think so. Now, I didn't say. Yeah, I wasn't in the ocean. Now it's a bit cold for commentators.
Yeah, so they've had 24 hours. But yeah, it's tough enough to play 2 games in 2 days. But that's always been the nature of the university's finals. And I remember the days when they had to play 3 games 3 days in a row. It becomes a real battle of endurance and stamina and everything else. But there's a turnover, and there's a chance for TUS Midlands. And the referee says, keep going. It's Enda Maguire, and this now is Cal Flynn. Maguire involved again. Can they manufacture something here? There's only the 1 point in it. The rain is coming a little bit heavier, I'm afraid to say. We are 24 minutes gone.
Brilliant.
That's a good transfer. Now is there a little bit of room here? He's going forward with intent, leaves it off. They're just trying to engineer a little bit of room here. I think this is Whitaker. I recognise the style, but he's just giving it away. But you know what? He's been fouled as well, and the referee gives him a free just as he lost possession. And the referee has done that a few times. He's given the decision for the first offence, shall we say. So it's a free in, and they have put 1 or 2 over from here. So this should be a 2-point lead. And Jack Maguire on YouTube is saying, who's the number 3 for DKIT? That's a good question. It's Owen Clark from Ballyhaise in Cavan.
I always wonder about this when a free takers, there may be 2 or 3 good in the club, but I just when Kieran Kilclough scored from distance, I'd always be inclined to keep the lads on form. But
yeah, sometimes they have a sort of a guy for the 21 and a guy for the 45, and he takes it out of his hands. Well, if he puts it over, it doesn't matter, and he does. So that's 6 points to 4. But yeah, I know what you're saying. It's a number 14 who put that over, and that's Cormac Delaney, the vice captain. Goalkeeper Shane Garland now.
He's still just waiting to come out. I can see it, and like a jack in the box.
Well, he's hit that long, and he's hit it strong right over to the side, and that's well taken. No, it's not. He dropped it, and that was the 15, Brandon Kelly. No, it wasn't. It was the other 15. Sorry, I'm getting those numbers mixed up. It was Kieran Doyle again. Referees gives good advantage. Play on. I can hear him shouting to the players, communicating with them well. Pressure on, but Doyle is there for Dundalk AT, and the goalkeeper is ahead of him, and he's directing them, telling them where to play with it, and says give it to Cathal Fleming, and here goes Cathal from Matic Rangers and Louth. Comes inside, but there's a lot of black jerseys there, so he has to think twice, and he lays it off. He gets support from Tom Gray, and Tom immediately plays it what looks like a dangerous ball, beautifully put down as well, and there's a goal chance here. He's through, he shoots, goalkeeper gets a save on it though, and that was possibly the best move of the game so far, and that's going to be a free out, and they're claiming. But that was a nice move, and they have gone for goal a couple of times, and it's so nearly come off.
A fabulous facet of the play there. Unreal to not catch it, maybe just the wherewithal to take the shot, and it probably was at the goalkeeper. But in fairness to Ian, in the goals, the Kerry man, he stood up in the last 2 days when he was needed, and he pulled off a very important save for his club.
I thought he was going to spill it there, one of those ones that would just spin away from you, but 24 deserves credit there as well, Patrick Johnson. It was his flick down that was very accurate. There's a press on, and TUS Midlands managed to get beyond the press, but for a second there I thought that was going to be overturned very close to goal. But TUS Midlands have it. We haven't had a goal yet, but we've had a couple of near moments. There was a save at the other end where the keeper had to scramble back, and a couple of close things to your left as you are watching, but no goals as yet. 6 points to 4 approaching half time.
So again, another attempt there at the cynical ball, but it's not slowing their progress too much so far.
But that's the way it's sort of done, isn't it? It's sort of done that it doesn't look too bad and isn't too crude, but it does slow you down.
He's a forward, he can't tackle, you know.
This is a forward. This is number 11, Cal Flynn. Puts it way deep into the corner near the line, but it's actually gone straight to the Dundalk IT player. Now I can't see, there's a lot of subs in my way, but it is definitely the men in white who have the ball. And there is the goalkeeper, Shane Garland, coming out. Leaves it to them now. TUS Midlands players just filtering back. Now, who's that over in the corner? It's 24, and it's Paddy Johnston, the man from Cooley Kickham's, but well intercepted there, and I think it was Enda Maguire back there. Cavan man playing for TUS Midlands. There's Cavan men on both sides. Number 3, Owen Clark, on the other side for Dundalk IT. Captain lays it off. Hasn't been many stoppages, to be fair, so it's been fast moving despite them playing yesterday, although that may be more a factor in the second half. But hard going to play 2 tough games in 2 days, but as I say, that's always been the nature of the higher universities finals. Well intercepted there for Dundalk IT right at the back, and it is the number 3 I was talking about, Owen Clark from Ballyhaise. 6 points to 4. I didn't manage it because of not having many stoppages to give you the full teams, but I'll do it at the start of the second half. They're calling for a black card. Referee says get up and get on with it. No, don't mess. And he's telling them do that again and you're in trouble. So I think he said he was trying to dupe him there a little bit, and he's not buying that.
No, try again next time.
Number 10 coming on for, no, he's maybe coming back on. Do you know what? He's gone off and got his gloves, I think, Whitaker. And here he is now with the ball. He's only got one of them on. He's playing with one glove. Hasn't had time to put the second one on, and maybe that's one of the reasons why that spilled a little bit. Also under serious pressure, to be fair. Nice transfer again. These guys haven't got close to goal much, really. There was once, about 10 minutes ago, Whitaker got it in on his own, but they haven't linked up as nicely as Dundalk IT have at times, and he's a lot of grass in front of him here. He's playing with the head up as well. They have the option of the big man up there as well, but that is not going to go to any of his teammates. Per enough ball. He was looking for a bit of movement there or something. They do have that sort of
2 minutes
ball option more.
2 minutes additional time.
Yeah, 2 minutes extra. Okay, yeah, there hasn't been many stoppages, to be fair. And that's going to be a Dundalk ball. Now, I looked down at my notes and they're getting a little bit messy because the rain, it's not heavy, but it's sort of, what would you call it? A bit of a, not even a drizzle, actually. It's a bit of a spit, I imagine you would maybe describe it as.
Any meteorologists on can help us with the terminology?
No, I'll just go with that. People know what I mean, I think. Now, he's looking up, not giving it away. Maybe listening to his manager this time. They're not being too rash. They're just going to work it.
Well, all 15 behind the ball.
All 15. You're right, actually. Yeah, absolutely. All the men in black are behind the ball and inside the 45. From distance, that's Fleming, and he's measured that perfectly. Brought it back to a 1-point game in added time at the end of the half. We'll watch it again, and that was well worked, actually. And it was the number 6, Liam Stafford, who did the build-up and a nice finish. And it's probably about right, 6-5, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tight game, but they're the opportunities that DKIT should be focusing on. Just outside the scoring zone, or nearly just coming off this kind of choke point, that kind of rectangular square in front of the goals is the place you need to be scoring in and not standing in. And they're doing that well at times. It's a great catch. Yeah, now similar ill discipline again. The mark was called, it was given, and then the TUS man slaps out of his hands, brought up 13 metres, now a scoreable free. That's twice.
Just inside the 45, and it's that exact spot I think that they've scored from before, so this could level it. And that's just a little bit of indiscipline, you say?
Yeah, the referee's whistle wasn't very loud, but again, you should know the rules yourself. When the lad stops the mark, don't slap out of his bloody hands.
Especially when you've done it once.
Yeah.
He's taken this one out of his hands. In the 33rd minute, we've just crept into the 33rd minute. It's very high, and I think that's on target, you know. I called one earlier and it was wide, and he's got that one right. And it's 6 points all at half time. Well, I'm thinking it's half time. We've played a couple of minutes, so I would imagine. The referee, you can tell he's quite close to him, so you know he's going to call for it.
He's calling for the pass.
Yeah, he's saying, give it to me, and he has got it. And it is half time, and it's 6 points all at half time at rainy Carriganore, but not too heavy so far, thank goodness. But an intriguing Electric Ireland Trench Cup first half between Dundalk IT in the white and TUS Midlands in the black. Now, I wonder, are they going into the dressing rooms? I would imagine they are, and yeah, certainly the Dundalk guys are going in, and TUS Midlands are waiting, and they'll probably follow them now, and they'll go in. So we could have a break here of 7 or 8 minutes. So we're going to take a break as well and get in out of the rain, and we will be back for the start of the second half. Welcome back for the second half. Did you get a cup of tea, Kieran?
No, I just went in out of the elements now. And I was talking to a lad in the goals, getting a few insider tips about Dundalk. So.
And what did you get?
I well, sure, it wouldn't be an insider tip. I have to let on. I figured it out myself. He said.
So you sound knowledgeable. 6 points all at half time in the rain. There's a direct route one ball. Put it in there. But it's broken for the goalkeeper, and Shane Garland is there at the back to sweep up. So it's level.
That was actually one of the nuggets. The goalie, the Monaghan, he was on the senior panel recently enough, but he's no longer a member of it. So he has pedigree at the inter-county, we'll say, training level anyway.
Most of these lads would, or they'd be there or thereabouts, wouldn't they? I remember there was one of them, he made his debut like a year ago. They've been around the panels, if not in the panels already. Just to correct one thing for you, just to let you know, this is the SETU Arena. I remember being here years ago and it was the WIT Sports Campus, but it's a, how, do you say SETU or do you say SETU?
Well, that'd be an ecumenical matter now. I think it is SETU because it's the Southeastern Technological University. So
should have known. That was like a trick question there.
Yeah.
You avoided that nicely. You sidestepped there. That's perfect. And while there's an injury here, I'm going to throw in a lovely little bit of Belfast trivia that I mentioned earlier on. Do you know where the Trench Cup comes from? Trench House, which is formerly St Joseph's Training College in Belfast for teachers, now St Mary's, but they had Trench House up there. And in the 70s, Pat Blake, who's well known up there and well known in Derry Lynn circles now as well in Fermanagh, and Peter McGinnity, the famous Peter McGinnity, put up the argument for a secondary competition because there was teams that weren't getting into the Sigerson, so that's where they came up with it, and that's where it came from. So Pat bought a trophy for £80 in those days sterling in Belfast and put it up, and that's the Trench Cup that is still being played for. So it came from Fermanagh men, and the first captain who won and who lifted the trophy, a fellow called Brian Mullins, 1976 with NCPE Limerick. Second year, 1977, a fellow called Pat Spillane. 1980, Kevin McCabe. 2011, Tomas Corrigan from Fermanagh. And then 2016-2017, Kieran Duffy, twice in a row with Dundalk IT. The only two times they've won it. I'm sure that not many captains, if any captain, has lifted the trophy twice. So Dundalk IT playing tonight in the white with a band of yellow, going to win the trophy for their college for the third time. That shot is from a tricky angle, but the cheer goes up and the flag goes up as well. Lovely score. And that is the lead, and that is ramping up the volume a little bit here, because in terms of quality, that is maybe the best score we have had so far. And teams just a bit more urgency at the start of the second half. TUS Midlands have been in front most of the game, and they're back in front after Dundalk IT levelled it just before the break. So TUS Midlands in black, playing from right to left. And is it my imagination, or is the level just gone up a notch?
A little bit, just as the weather is deteriorating, the football possibly is going the other way. Thankfully, you just see it's just starting to go maybe in the Dundalk faces, and that can be a mental battle too. Never mind the physiological effort that increases to run into the wind. But this is the second injury in a short space of time, so maybe it's just cooling that intensity down. Because it's just that he hurt his hip, he landed funny on the high ball came down. But just when you talk about cups, the Cornermac Lane had to. The Colour Didicus committee, we had to source a new cup because the previous cup had maybe just misplaced itself. Previous winners, I think.
Well, talking of previous winners, I'm giving you some stats. Player of the match about 17-18 years ago was a certain Colin McFadden. So the list of names there when you go back is incredible. And of course, the nice one as well is that TUS Midlands, formerly Athlone, in fact I think we're known as Athlone RTC. So basically this college has only ever won this cup once in 1982, and it was John Jack Cooney was the captain, and his son is out there playing tonight for them, trying to do what his dad did 31 years ago. I was going to say exactly 30. I keep still in February trying to remember that it's 2023. Shane Garland.
But it is an excellent competition, this. Like, it is an unreal competition.
Yes.
Second tier. Like.
When you think, like, I suppose back in the 70s, it must have been a no-brainer that there wasn't one of these. But yes, I've seen St Pat's Drumcondra do well at this level, and Letterkenny, of course, who went up a few years ago. It's been an important one for teams getting up to Sigerson. Of course, the winner of this does go up to Sigerson. Dundalk IT on the attack now, and they have men over. They've for once got through, and they have a chance here of an equaliser, or maybe even more than that. Will he go for goal? He puts it over the bar, takes his point, and levels the game. good score on the break, and they've threatened that quite a lot, Kieran, haven't they?
Yeah, I know it's easy again as we see it. Like, should he have went for the goal? Possibly not. Like, it was further out probably than it seemed in play, and it's probably a wise decision just to keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Yeah, first score of the second half as well for his team, and if he had missed it, the goal, then they wouldn't have scored and they're one down, but it just levels it, and it's psychological, I guess. Well taken, and he calls the mark right away there, Carl Fleming. Haven't seen too many clean catches around the middle, but that was certainly an excellent one. This is number 15, and every time I have to go down and go around all my positions to try and find out who is 15. It's Kieran Doyle, Greenmore in County Armagh. Half of Greenmore is called Doyle, so that's pretty easy to remember. Here's the captain, and brilliantly blocked down. There was two of them went at it. That's the commitment and the tenacity and defending as well. He thought he'd just crept inside the scoring zone and thought he'd try it for the lead, but instead it's TUS Midlands who have it, and after a bit of pressure exerted on them, they're going to try and break. Lots of movement up ahead, I can see off camera, but the pressure is so that the player in the ball can't look up. Here he comes now over on the right hand side, can't quite see who it is over on the far side. This looks like Whitaker, very far from us over in that corner, and I can tell by just his style that it is him, and he feeds it back out, and I think that's Carl Flynn on his right. Was that actually Maguire with the kick? And it's gone to the left and it's gone wide, and he's claiming that it got a touch, and he's pleading with the referee, but the referee says no. Garland looking to take this quickly. Definitely the game has got more pace about it in the second half. Number 35 has been in from the start. That's Shane Slevin, don't be fooled by that. 7 is Shane Hanratty from Monaghan, Inniskeen. Jack McAvoy from Offaly, whole mixture of counties. 5 is Fleming from Louth. And that, you can see what he was trying to do there, but didn't filter the way through, and the coach on the sideline is saying give it through the hands, don't be trying those sort of kicks. But there's a nice kick that has actually worked, and it's cut out quite a few players because of course the ball travels quicker than anybody, but he's ended up having to retrieve it and come all the way back out. This is Cormac Delaney to Flynn. He's looking, and he is kick passing. Now that looks like an absolute gem of a pass, and it is the pass of the day, and you won't get a better pass all week here at SETU Waterford. What a ball stroked through. Let's watch it again. A gem. I thought, is that really going to be through the eye of a needle, and beautifully finished as well, and that's the first goal of the game, and that was a peach.
Oh, brilliant. Maybe the goalie will probably regret coming off his line as quick, but at the same time, if you keep yourself as an island on the line, sometimes you're criticised for not being brave enough to come out. But an excellent finish. But the pass was unbelievable.
It really was.
Stuff you dream of, All-Ireland finals.
It's Maurice Fitzgerald like that kind of pass, isn't it? That was going to the left and wide, and it also puts distance between the teams, with 3 points between the teams, and that's the biggest distance we've had so far. And it also ramps it up a little bit, because now they've got to go for goal at the other end, or certainly, it's a long way back to get 3 points the way this game has been going, hasn't it?
Definitely, and you see TUS at the minute, and they've got 14 kind of player. Well, they're moving one up, 13 players.